How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon rumors, leaks, everything in between, and talk about what's been going on. So, first things first here, apparently the Pokemon Company has been just making a bunch of interviews lately. There's been a bunch of stuff. There's actually two different ones here. For example, this one right here is that the Pokemon Company is pondering on how to ensure quality of Pokemon games while keeping up their release cadence, aka they are releasing a lot, and they're, trying to figure out how can they keep their games actually good while also releasing them on the planned schedule of releases. And then, of course, there is a bunch of other posts. So, for example, here, Pokemon Company will always create new Pokemon, says the COO. So basically just confirming that they will not stop adding new Pokemon. They'll continue adding brand new Pokemon to the games no matter what happens, right? They're going to keep releasing new Pokemon. As you can see right here, the Pokemon Company says it will always create new Pokemon. According to the COO, that's going to be a long Pokérap. While the Pokemon Company has slowed down the creation of brand new Pokemon, in recent years, the company still very much creates new creatures with each mainline installment. It looks like that's a tradition that's going to continue from here on out. Takazo Utsunomiya, the Chief Operating Officer, so the COO of the Pokemon Company, recently answered a bunch of different questions about the Pokemon franchise, which is when the topic of new Pokemon came up. Utsunomiya was asked if the Pokemon Company would ever pull back or stop creating fresh Pokemon designs, and he made it very clear that won't be the case. He says, "I think that Game Freak needs to have the ability or that kind of development capability to always be producing new creatures and coming up with new ideas." Utsunomiya responded with a translator, as if they didn't have the ability or the development capability, then it would be difficult to continue Pokemon throughout all these generations. As new generations of people come to work on the games, and they'll have new ideas for new creatures. We'll be able to continue creating new Pokemon. Right now, we're over 1,000, but if you think about how many living creatures there are in our world, there's something over hundreds of thousands. I would think we probably still have a long way to go, and we can keep going. So yeah, basically confirming that they will not stop adding new Pokemon, which is a good thing. Okay, I like more Pokemon. I know there's those people that exist that just want to have Gen 1 Pokemon and that's it. 151 is all they want and everything else can just be damned. But I disagree with that. I used to have a teacher who hated everything past Gen 1. Hated that teacher, by the way. She was an art teacher. Didn't like any of her art, but that's besides the point. Either way, so my point is just that I want them to add more Pokemon. As a fan, I enjoy seeing more new Pokemon. I enjoy it. It's fun. That's what makes Pokemon stay alive for me. If it was just the same thing over and over again, if we just played Kanto every single day, which I've done a lot of Fire Red playthroughs, it would get just mind-numbingly boring, okay? So they have to keep adding new stuff. Sol here, who's a leak analyst, says, so basically Pokemon will end when we reach the same number of creatures or objects on Earth and all of their variations. Cool. If Pokemon lasts for an entire lifetime, it would have been a good life. As new generations of Pokemon come to work in the games, we have new IDs for new creatures. So yeah, basically he's just kind of reaffirming the things that were said here. However, this other post, though, is an interesting one. This is from, again, we got Go Nintendo tweeting here. The Pokemon Company is kind of pondering on how to ensure quality of games while keeping up their release cadence. And basically what they say is, as you no doubt know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet launched to mostly positive coverage from the press, along with a few constructive criticisms. It's good the games could have been used a bit more time in development, and they were quite technically rough around the edges on day one. Fans echoed this sentiment, begging Pokemon Company to get to work on patches to fix up the litany of issues. The state of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet arrived and got Pokemon fans to talking about the quality of recent games. And basically, Takato Utsunomiya, the chief operating officer, so the same person of the Pokemon Company, has basically heard this chatter among the fan base. In an interview with comicbook.com, Utsunomiya opened up about the idea of pulling back on the frequency of releases in order to fine-tune each upcoming title a bit more. I think in general, if you look at the past, the path we've taken up until now has been this constant release, always regularly releasing products on a fairly fixed kind of cadence. You might say, always having these products able to be introduced and new experience for our customers, and that's how we've been operating up until now. I think we're still operating in that way, but there's more and more conversations as development environments change and about how we can continue to do this while making sure that we're ensuring really quality products are being introduced. Now, yeah, there is two ways they can approach this, right? They can either literally slow down the releases, like maybe not release a game next year, or just spend a lot of time on a singular game, or hire more people. That's another solution, right? It's if you have more people to work on stuff, then you don't have as much pressure on the few people that are working on different things, right? You'll be able to have them all just working on multiple things and keeping the ball rolling without sacrificing anywhere, right? And of course, everything requires a little bit of extra time, but usually I think Pokemon games are on a 2 to 3 year cycle in terms of development, because there's not just a single game being made at a time. There's multiple different projects all happening at once. with different parts and different teams kind of working on that. Of course, new generations are the ones that usually take 3 years to develop. So I can tell you right now, Scarlet and Violet came out like what? It feels like yeah, it came out last year. And it feels like very recent. But after next year, after 2024 and 2025, we're going to get a new generation. That's like the schedule they have set, right? And they kind of have to do that because it follows up with a bunch of other stuff. Because you got to remember, Pokemon doesn't really make a lot of money from the games, okay? They do, but not as much as you try to imagine that they do. They make way more from everything else. Merchandise, okay? TCG, that stuff. Like, that's the stuff that makes money, which is why I think that the Pokemon Company, compared to something like, Nintendo on its own, right, has not gone after a lot of things within the community as much as Nintendo does. Because, put it like this, okay? Pokemon makes majority of its money, a big majority of its money from merchandise, right? Now, how do you keep people buying merchandise? Well, you keep them engaged. Well, how do you keep them engaged? With the anime, the cards, and the video games. The video games probably being the biggest one of those, right? That's how you keep people watching and keeping being a part of the community and part of the actual franchise and actually buying products, right? That's what you want. You want them to consume one product and then buy more of another product, right? That's what you want. However, if you take a look at Nintendo's different sorts of franchises, it's a little bit different. Like, sure, Mario sells a lot of merchandise, and Mario also sells a lot of video games, right? Sure, but here's the thing. Zelda doesn't sell as much merchandise, but sells a decent amount of games, which is why to them, making a good game is more important than making, a lot of games just to sell merchandise. Because their way of making money with Zelda is not from merch. Sure, do they make money from merch? Yes. But please, do not tell me that you have more plushies, unless you're the biggest Zelda fan in the world. But if you're a Pokemon fan and you also like Zelda, I'm pretty sure you're going to have more plushies of Pokemon, different sorts of Pokemon, than you're going to have of Zelda plushies. Just let's be real here. Let's not try to be, let's not get into the semantics of it and be very specific. Actually, I have what? No, it doesn't matter. The reality is right in front of us. Pokemon sells more merch. It's literally in the numbers. So what I'm trying to say is, the reason why Pokemon doesn't maybe go after a lot of fan creations, they do take down a few fan games if they get too large, Uranium and a few like that. But the reason they don't go after all those things is because it benefits them, okay? Fan games, ROM hacks, Nuzlocke, all this stuff, all these things that they probably hate internally because they don't want people to be doing that. They also, the higher-ups know that, hey, listen, let's not go after that stuff. At least somebody up there must know that. Let's not go after it, because as long as those people who maybe are not buying our games, sure, they're not buying our games, but you know what they have to buy if they still want to have something from Pokemon? If they want to have a plushie, they have to buy our plushie. If they want to have other Pokemon merchandise, t-shirts, stuff, they have to buy from us, right? So that's the point. As long as people are still engaged with the Pokemon franchise, they win. They make their money because people can go out and buy the merchandise instead, right? So yeah, maybe they don't make $60 off of you every year, because maybe you're one of those people who doesn't buy all the games, right? Maybe you're one of the people who only plays ROM hacks, or who only plays fan games, right? Or who only interacts with Pokemon Go, but never buys anything in Pokemon Go, or whatever. Well, you may not buy a game every year, which makes them $60, but you may end up buying, over the course of 5 years, 10 different pieces of merch, which is probably more money they would have made off of you than they would have made off of just selling you, one game every 1 or 2 years or whatever. It's a big difference. They make more money off of the merch. Just thinking about how much I spend on merch, right? If you look at all the plushies I have behind me, right? There's a lot of them, and you can't even see all of them, but there's just a plethora of them. So they make more money off of that, okay? They made more money off of that merchandise I have behind me from Pokemon than they made from me buying all the games. And I bought every single Pokemon game at this point, so my point just still stands on that. Either way, this was just one of the few things we had to talk about today. Of course, Sylph had a bit of an opinion here, because he basically said that, yeah, if you actually look, and he made videos about this in the past, but he said if you look at the golden era of Pokemon, so Generation 1 to Generation 5, they usually tended to be about about 1,300 days worth of development time, which went down by 214 days in the what he refers to downfall era. So basically, over time, they spent way less, just way less time between generations, right? And they spend way less time between main series, releases, actually developing them. I think here, if you look at between the back then, there was 127 extra days worth of like development time. Now, was that all used for development? You don't know. We never know. But the fact that there was basically, you know, almost too ridiculous, that almost like not exactly half a year, but almost half a year extra of time to work on their games is pretty significant, okay? It's a pretty significant amount if you think about it. So the only reason I bring this up is because it's interesting to see how like they've shifted and now it's like just churn out as much as possible because it's going to keep making money, man. People still keep buying them. Scarlet and Violet are outselling. I think they're going to outsell Sword and Shield, which already outsold a lot of previous things. So people are still going to spend their money on it. That's not really going to change. But either way, we move on to the next thing. Here's a post from Soul Silver who says, "Hey, yo, Kitakami is full of Japanese culture. And here's our connection to why Gligar and Apom are singled out in the Teal Mask DLC. There's a Japanese tale called The Quarrel of the Monkey and the Crab. I highly suggest you read and listen to the tale. But basically, the two animals have a quarrel in which the monkey, Apom, kills the crab, Gligar. So the crab's son wants to avenge his father. So he tricks the monkey to come to his father's funeral celebration and kills him at the tea ceremony. Well, the Pokemon's related to tea and death. Poltergeist." Okay, and in the same connection, if you read the story in full, maybe you'll finally understand why I don't like monkey Pokemon. All right, but basically, it's as to why these two are going to be the exclusive Pokemon. Apom and, of course, Gligar here are going to be exclusive to Scarlet and Violet, vice versa, as you can see. But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting little story. You guys can read it here if you want to. You can pause the video and read through this little story here. And, of course, take a look at that. And he says here, shout out to Mark Plesko for actually telling him about this tale, and here's a link to the tale, of course, itself. You guys, if you want to take a look at it, it's right there. But yeah, again, shout out to Soul for sharing this, kind of an interesting little thing. Then we move on to this right here. So this was posted by Riddler Koo. Now, Riddler Koo, for those who do not know, is a legitimate leaker. This man has leaked things for the last like 3 or 4 years. I don't even know. It's been a while. Okay, he's been leaking stuff for a long time. But he tweeted this picture. This is a new character in the DLC, in the first DLC that's coming out in literally 2 weeks. And he tweeted this character image and he says, "What's she chasing after?" And then it's a bit of a picture of a demon and what seems to be a moon, I think, of sorts. I think it's either, a moon or a sun or whatever, but it's like a moon and a demon skull. So question is, what is she chasing after? Is she chasing after the mask, so the teal mask, like the Ogerpon, right, the brand new legendary, or is she after something else? Well, there's a few different theories. Here, for example, is a bit of a theory from Light, who says, potentially Perrin is looking to make photos of the new form of Ursaluna in Scarlet and Violet. In the Timeless Woods, we'll be able to catch other Pokemon from PLA and to obtain certain unique objects from there. So probably this new form is the type of time/distortion form due to this phenomena that happens only in Kitakami. I would like this new form to get the sniper ability, but either way. So he thinks it's going to be Ursaluna. I doubt that. We also have a theory here from Centro, who says Perrin is Adamant's descendant in the Teal Mask. She's exploring an area called the Timeless Woods in Kitakami with the objective to catch a mysterious Pokemon. Based on the leaked hints, current rumors point to a new Ursaluna form. This is the mysterious Pokemon Perrin is looking for. Also, maybe this place will allow to evolve other Hisuian Pokemon. Well, I guess that connection would make sense, because if you think, okay, so let's think about it like this, okay? So Perrin is related to Adamant. Adamant is from Pokemon Legends Arceus. They're clearly related. They have the same hairstyle, same everything, right? She's hunting for a rare Pokemon, a mysterious Pokemon. She's going to be in the Timeless Woods, which apparently might have time distortions, which will give us an ability to capture Pokemon from Legends Arceus, which are available in the game, I think, already, like in the files, unless I'm mistaken. So basically, this is just a weird little situation where anything is possible. So maybe this place will allow us to evolve other Hisuian Pokemon. Makes sense. Okay, so it could work, could be the case. We'll have to wait and see. I haven't really heard much about Ursaluna getting a new evolution or form. Haven't really heard much about that. It's kind of new to me. But hey, whatever you guys think, let me know in the comment section down below. And we're going to finish off with this right here. This is posted on PokeEos, and it was also a post from Riddler Koo here, who basically said 7 plus 8 plus 1, and then 6 plus 1 plus X. And then basically, these are two tweets from the Leaker Koo. The first could indicate the number of new Pokemon, and the second the number of forms for each part of DLC. 7 Pokemon in part 1 plus 6 forms. So Diplin, the regional fake plus 1 form, regional fake evolution plus 1 form, new form for an old Pokemon, Okidogi, Monkey Dory, Pheasantipede, and Ogerpon plus 3 masks / terraforms. Fair enough. And then 8 Pokemon in part 2 plus 1 form. Arcaludon, Diplin evolution, some strange Pokemon we don't know, Raging Bolt, Paradox Entei, Iron Crown, Iron Terrakion, and Terrapagos plus its Terra form. 1 Pokemon probably mythical via special distribution, doesn't have any other form. Both Regional Fake and Diplin evolution could be another unique Pokemon. And it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, is that what he means here? Because, okay, so how many Pokemon do we end up with then? So it says here plus 6 forms. So 7 Pokemon in part 1 plus 6 forms. And then 8 Pokemon. So what are we sitting at then? Like 15 Pokemon across both games. Or both DLC. I guess 16 if you want to count the mythical from special distribution. If that even happens, by the way. This is all speculation as of right now. But I don't know, man. I'm curious. Because if you go down here, this is basically what we're looking at, right? We've got Applin and then Diplin, right? So we got Diplin, that's pretty much there, confirmed. Poltergeist, a Poltergeist authentic form, possibly. And then, of course, a Poltergeist evolution is possible as well. It seems to be hinted at. There's a special form Pokemon that we don't know about yet, something related to a Blood Moon. So that could be the Ursaluna one, right? That could be Ursaluna, this mysterious Pokemon that Perrin is after. Okidogi, Monkidori, Pheasantipede, Ogerpon, and then the 3 different masks of Ogerpon as well, which may all be related, I guess, to the different typings that, you know, just the main typings, I guess, we have. So, grass, fire, water. Then we have the Indigo Disc. Here we have Duraludon and Archaludon. So Archaludon is definitely one of the new ones we already know. Diplin, and then of course Diplin's evolution possibly existing as well, which could be interesting. We got a Peach Pokemon hinted at. Walking Wake, well, that's already confirmed. Raging Bolt and Paradox Entei. So Raging Bolt was confirmed, but we don't know about Paradox Entei yet, if there is a Paradox form. And then we got Iron Leaf's Iron Crown, which was confirmed recently, and Iron Terrakion, which we do not know about just yet. Of course, Terrapagos and its Terrapagos terrestrial form is there, and then of course the mythicals. Those would be the Pokemon we'd be receiving. This would be literally it, right? Now again, we already know a few of them. Diplin, Archaludon, we know those. We know Raging Bolt, we know Iron Crown. We know about Ogerpon, Pheasantipede, Okidogi, and Monkidori. We know about Poltergeist, and we know about Diplin. So we know about a lot of them already, but we don't know about every single thing yet. We still are missing the special form Pokemon. We're missing the possible evolution here. We're missing the possible Diplin evolution. And we're also missing the mythical, and to see what that's going to be, as well as the Paradox Entei and Paradox Terrakion as well, to confirm what those will look like. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation. We're not too far away now from the first DLC releasing. Of course, I'll be popping out videos here for you guys, and of course on my other channel, Ruffle Rowlet, and you know, whatnot. So just stay tuned on both those channels to see any of that content. But yeah, what do you guys think about this though? I want to just hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What do you feel about specifically this DLC? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Do you think it's going to be great? Do you think it's going to be bad? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.